In the middle of the Mediterranean lies the magical island of Malta. For centuries, rulers have been seduced by its charms, from Romans, Moors, the Knights of St. John, and the British. All have made it their home, and now joining those empires is the Galaverse. Under the watchful gaze of the ancient town of Medina, a fantastical world has been created from the minds of Gala.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to the Galaverse live stream. Oh my goodness, we've got some brilliant things in store. But the first thing I'm going to say to you, you don't have to put up with me the whole time, or indeed Jason Bitbender Brink. We're going to have so many guests and so many insights. And we've also got some cheeky leaks from Galaverse for you as well, which happened in Malta yesterday and the day before. So people have been working all night to get all of the footage together to give you guys a bit of a rundown of exactly what happened. So we've promised you exclusives, and we've promised you some, let's say, early access to some things. We are time boxing everything, and throughout the show there will be little things that you can claim and do and hear, so it's probably worth, if you can, hanging around. And if you can't, that's fine, you can watch it back later anyway and be really sad that you missed out on all of the goodies. So, where do we start? Probably the best place is in the Galaverse. that was Galaverse. Now, some of you might be new to Gala, and you're probably wondering, what on earth is Galaverse, and who on earth are Gala? Gala was originally known as Gala Games. We're a gaming company that happens to build games on the blockchain. And the reason we do that isn't because we were trying to do something cool with new technology. It's because we really care about content ownership and the opportunity that that gives players as well as developers. Over the course of last year, we learned a huge amount. We fell on our face a few times, as all things that are new do occasionally. And I think what was most exciting about all of the things that we learned was how big this opportunity is. The Web3 space is so exciting. We took what we learned from games and we started to think about how that could be applied to other creative industries, such as music and such as film. And these three industries have something immensely important in common. They're all about imagination, creativity, independent artists and producers and writers and dreamers, and those with imagination to bring stuff to the world that others will truly enjoy. We believe in the power of play to earn, listen to earn, watch to earn. And we are so excited about those three things coming together. This is entertainment in a way you've never experienced it before. This is entertainment that's fairer, that's bigger, and that's better than ever. Entertainment brought to you in a way that not only entrances you and delights you, but rewards you too. And, as well as rewarding you, it rewards the creators.
This is the moment that it's all gonna start to change. This is gonna go to the entire gaming world.
Okay, I am here with Bob and Eric, the developers of Grit. The West is calling, guys,
Yes.
all the way in Malta. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, great. Thank you. It's good to meet with you.
It's a little warm, but we're getting through it. I feel a little bad for all the actors dressed up in all these really amazing costumes. They are just sweating, but they're professionals and they're powering through it. It's
Great
pretty.
job, yeah.
I watched the trailer. I don't know if people have watched the trailer or not, but oh my gosh. a battle royale, yes?
We were big fans of a game called PUBG, which is a similar battle royale, but we really wanted to kind of turn it on its head and put it in a unique environment. And we're big fans of old Western movies and spaghetti Westerns. And so we said, why not the Old West? A lot of people, might say, oh, but gamers don't like, Old West games. It's like, no, they actually do. And it's just a ripe sandbox for really fun gunplay, dynamites, TNT, horseback combat, trains, and it's just been it's a fertile ground for really cool creative ideas.
At the beginning of the match, you have some randomness introduced in terms of the playing cards. So the cards come up and decide what type of experience you're going to have, and it's going to change every game. And so I think that uniquely, brings the player in to say, okay, I don't know what's coming, but it's going to be fun. And so then you get the cards and you're like, all right, I'm going to saddle up and ride into this one and try to shoot as many people as possible. So,
is there a social aspect to this game as well?
Yeah, we allow you to play, you can play solo, but we also allow you to play duos, with you and a friend, as well as squads, up to 4 players playing together as a team. Whereas voice chat is integrated as well, so you can communicate with other players. And of course, there are moderation controls to make sure you're not hearing things that you don't want to hear. But there's definitely the social component to it, as well as participation on our Discord server. We have a pretty healthy and active Discord that we participate in. The developers are in there all the time answering questions. We like to play test with our community. So we'll run play tests with them, get their feedback, and incorporate ideas even. And it's an evolving game. We're always trying to think of new things, and a lot of times, in fact, I would give it a great example of the way you control our horse. The horse in the game it's kind of a throttle system, so you're not having to hold the key down the whole time to run forward. You just set a throttle. That idea actually came from a member of our community, and we thought, hey, we should at least try that. We tried it, we loved it, we kept it.
Can you also talk a little bit about your relationship with Gala, and where do you see the future going with Gala?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, back in January or December, we'd heard a little bit about Gala, and we became aware of that. And then once we got into talks with them, it was just kind of like a natural match. They do a great job in terms of coming up with the economy and the production. Obviously, the marketing is fantastic. And they bring a lot to the table, and then we of course bring the game to the table, and so it's been a really great partnership working with them.
Yeah, the more we've learned about like decentralized technologies and their actual place in the world of like where can they be meaningful. We thought that Gala actually brought a really interesting perspective to that, and it caused us to do more research on our own, and it didn't take long for us to become true believers, and we're like, oh, this actually makes a lot of sense for the players, makes a lot of sense for us, and it's just, I think we'll create a better world with these technologies. So getting to work with the premier Web3 entertainment company in the world and partner on something as big as this, and then to be able additionally to add Epic Games as yet another partner in this incredible mix. It's the biggest news in crypto gaming pretty much ever, as far as I'm concerned. Like, this is a really big deal.
I am thrilled to announce that Gala Games has signed a partnership with Epic Games to bring Grit to the Epic Games Store as one of the first blockchain games. We consider ourselves pioneers at Gala Games, and we've always respected Epic Games as that same type of company. We applaud their boldness in taking a stand for Web3 and allowing their players to finally own assets in the games. This is enormous news for Gala and obviously for Grit, but more so for the entire Web3 gaming industry. I view this as a pivotal moment that will accelerate the change to players finally playing for keeps. You're going to own your characters, you're going to own your horses, you're going to own your weapons when you play Grit. And this is the moment that over 190 million Epic players will be able to log into their Epic account and get into Grit and start earning rewards immediately.
As Gala moves further and further into the entertainment space, it's really important that we find the right partners and we make the friends that we need to carry on growing and to carry on doing new and exciting things. And when it comes to music, we're working with some of the biggest and best in the world. And there's one man in particular that we've grown very close to over the last few months that wanted to say a few words.
What it do, is your boy Big Snoop D-O-double-G, checking in live from Bora Bora. Just want to give you some information on Gala Games, Gala Music, Gala in general. Now, Gala got a new project they just dropped, Mount Westmore. Bad motherfuckers. Make sure you get it, and if you ain't got it, you better go get it. Mount Westmore, great record, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, E40, Too Short, classic West Coast shit.
Yeah, what's up? Y'all know what it is, Mount Westmore, man. 4 pillars of West Coast hip hop. You got E40, Too Short, Snoop Dogg, and your homeboy Ice Cube. And we down with Gala Music. You know what I'm saying? We coming out with that Mount Westmore Bad Motherfuckers album. Yeah, June 7th. So, you know me, it's right here. Get that shit, cop that shit. We're gonna be lacing y'all throughout the whole project with new music, new motherfucking experiences, shows, everything that the Westmore got, baby. You gonna get it. So fuck with us on June 7th. Fuck with that album, Bad Motherfuckers, from the pillars of West Coast hip hop, Mount Westmore. Yeah. Foundation, baby, the foundation.
Shout out to the whales out there, all the whales.
All the top hats and tycoons. Hello.
Break bread or fake dead. You know
Let's go.
You know how I go.
Oh yeah. Also, Death Row Records is connected with Gala Music. Gala is the king of Web3. Yeah, we about to change the whole game as far as films, TV, music, all of the above. Gala Games. And I'm excited to be working with them. We dropped a couple of projects to kick the year off, and we've been rocking and rolling. We got new artists, all types of developments. So Gala Games, Snoop Dogg, Death Row Records, coming to a hood near you. Get it, got it, gone.
You gotta love Snoop. That energy, that drive. He is truly a friend of Gala. So, while we're on the topic of music, I believe, and you might have seen it in an earlier clip, but the skate park, the inner city street scene in Galaverse this year was absolutely epic.
What is up, Galaverse Digital Day 3? It is good to see you. I am Bane Laker. I am here with the amazing A. Frank. We're here from Gala Music, here to talk just a little bit about what's going on with music. We've had a lot of artists on stage this week. Who's your favorite?
I mean, every artist is amazing. I mean, Disclosure, you know, you can't, at Phoenix, how do you pick? And then Noel Gallagher, like, he's such an icon.
Like, absolute legend.
Legend.
You know?
You're basically asking me, like, this is a Sophie's Choice moment. Basically, I think everyone who's here just got 2 amazing nights of entertainment. This is just the beginning, right? I think we announced some cool stuff and we announced some really exciting partnerships, but this is just the start for us, right? I think it's the start for Web3 in the music space, and how do we change the industry, move the industry forward. Every artist, manager, label that I talk to is so excited about this space and opportunities, the potential, what they can do, how it's gonna change what they do, how they can amplify what they do best. And so this is just the beginning. So our announcement's so exciting, but like there's so much more in store.
Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, E40, Too Short.
Yes.
Put together this amazing supergroup. They're dropping this album. They've dropped it now with us.
Yeah.
Exclusive on the chain. We've got it. But the artwork that goes along with those tracks is just unfreaking believable.
These guys think about the fans. So it's not always about what we can put on display up front. You know, they want to make sure there's continued love from the holders and the supporters for those guys from the artists.
Speaking of in-store, we had October London, Jane Hancock, our first 2 emerging artists on Gala Music that came earlier this year. Think we'll see more from them this year?
I would absolutely think so, cannot doubt it. What they've been able to create so far and what they have in the pipe is massive. I'm just excited to hear what's coming from them, and again, how they can push their own creative boundaries as well as what we could do with Gala.
And we're going to be whitelisting people for these, right? That had the October and Jane drops originally.
Again, one of the big pillars of Gala Music is to make sure that audiences and fans are rewarded and engaged for holding the NFTs, for buying them, for being early, for supporting their artists
for running
and fans.
nodes and buying nodes.
Oh
too.
yeah. What we want to make sure we're doing at Gala Music is we're giving artists more creative freedom than they've had before. We want to give them new avenues for revenue, and then we want to give fans an opportunity to engage with that music in a way they haven't before, where there's mutual incentives and rewards and experiences that both fans and artists can experience together.
Hey everyone, it's Paris. I wish I could be at Galaverse, but instead I thought I'd send a video to say hello to everyone. I've been seeing all the tweets, and as the former queen of the clubs, who's now the queen of the metaverse, I can tell that I'm missing a great party. I love how Web3 gives back power to the creator and consumer. As everyone knows by now, I am all in Web3, and I love that launching entertainment properties, whether it's a song, a film, in Web3, just gives the control back to the creator and really engages the fans, viewers, and listeners. My media company 1111 has done $4 billion of product revenue over the last decade, but I'm even more excited about the possibilities of Web3 in entertainment, and I am so excited to push this new way of thinking to my 75 million social media followers around the world. When I started to talk to Gala about partnering, it was about music and games, but now I'm so excited to watch Gala become the leading Web3 entertainment company, and I'm so excited to be partnering with them in future across all of entertainment. I want to continue to be the leader and continue to innovate, which is why Gala is the perfect partner for myself and 1111 as they are doing the same. From one woman of Web3 to another, I want to pass it back over to Mona, who's in the Galaverse.
You know, I always say, how did you start in this industry? Because everyone has their own story. How did you get here? And what are some of the projects you're working on?
Yeah, so actually how I got here was I was day trading and I found an NFT project that I really liked. It was really the first NFT project that existed. And I joined the community and I was like, you know, these NFTs need utility. The team's they're not willing to listen to my advice. They're too busy. And my friend was like, you know, you can do that on your own. You can create your own project. You can wrap this. So a week later, we had created a whole project, a whole game out of this project. We were wrapped in NFT. You basically turn it into like a Tamagotchi where you fed it and you mine from it. And after realizing that all I need is like a great idea and people behind me, I can do whatever I want in this space, which is like a very freeing feeling to have. Like you can do what you want, what you care about, you can really find it here.
And that's exactly the message we want to give women in Web3, because certainly this is a male-dominated space. But you know what's amazing about it is that it's a creative space, right? And women love to be creative. Tell us a little bit about the women-based projects that you're working on in this space.
Yeah, so most notably would be Fame Lady Squad. It was the first all-female generative profile picture project to ever launch on Ethereum of July of last year. It was actually launched by the first all-female team to ever launch a project, or at least that's what we were told. We found out about a month later it was actually 3 Russian men running the project lying that they were women. We were able to, though, as a community, convince the original team to send us the whole project.
And you know, I know that Gala Games, their mission is just that, to bring more women to this space, to bring empowerment, to educate people. Can you talk to us a little bit about the role women can have in this space?
Well, I really think, you know, women are great at community building. They're great at being creative. They really fill a role that is perfect for this space. You know, I have friends that are in South Africa, Uganda, Malaysia, that are earning 6 figures running communities, and that's enough money to run their whole town at that point. Like, it's really creating opportunities for women, no matter where you're at, experience-wise. You know, there's nobody coming in with degrees in NFTs or 10 years of experience. So now you're at the layer where you can break through. All it needs is dedication.
And speaking of that, talk to us about entry points. So what are some of the easy, user-friendly entry point for women who want to get in?
Start with joining a community. It's not about spending money. It's not about investing. You really want to invest your time more than anything. You know, but nobody wants to come in and not know anything and spend their money, and that's not what we expect of anybody. We want people to come in and just learn, join the communities, get to know what's going on, and really find a place for themselves.
What is Gala?
Gala is a whole universe, right? We got films, music, games. I mean, what don't they do?
We need more people like you. Thank you for being out there and teaching us, and please keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
I can't believe how much content we've got for you all. There is so much still to come. But for our next guest, I think it's time to see a familiar face. I know he's a favourite among the community, and he's somebody that is a dear friend to me too. So I'm handing over to Mr. Bitbender Brink.
Townstar was our first game, okay? And it is something that we are dedicated to supporting, to continuing to improve. Townstar itself has a remarkably dedicated player base. In the normal, like, free-to-play world, okay, you might have a day 30 retention of a few percent. Our day 30 retention for Townstar players is like over 40%. People love the game. When they love the game, they really love it. I suck at it. I'm terrible at it. I can never make gasoline. I don't have the patience for it. I'm busy doing too much stuff. So I don't play it, but I love that people love it. And that really, really matters. It's a very difficult game that looks deceptively easy. Because if you look at it and you're like, oh, look at the little farmer, he's running around, it's so cute, it will wreck you. It will absolutely wreck you. You will be torn apart by your own hubris there. It fires me up that we're right on the precipice of bringing hundreds of millions of people into the space and giving them the ability to own their assets for the first time and to really experience what that means in a way that is very low friction. Typically speaking, in the blockchain space and for the longest period of time, it has been incredibly difficult to get into the blockchain world simply because it's so scary. It's so weird. You know, you're going to send magical internet money to someone and it's this address is a bunch of letters and numbers and oh my God, this is scary, right? What we're doing with this deal with Grit and Epic, for example, is it's going to be possible for 194 million Epic users to log into the Gala platform using their Epic account. One-click sign-on, okay? And then they can play a game. Now, they don't have to even touch NFTs or blockchain assets or anything like that. It's invisible to them unless they would like to know more. And if they want to know more, then they can go into it a little bit more deeply and they can create a wallet. But we're making it so that there's multiple ways for them to do this. So it's not a high friction, you know, you have to write down your mnemonic, 12-word key phrase and all of this stuff. Like, there's multiple options and multiple levels of complexity. And there is nothing that is 2 orders of magnitude close to this. It's insane.
So that was all very exciting, but I think it's time for a change in topic. Let's talk about Vox. Vox is one of the most exciting things to come out of Gala that I don't feel like you guys know enough about. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to one of the team who could give you the inside track as to exactly why we should all be very, 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 very excited. We're excited to announce Gala Films. The general idea for the first feature film for Vox is around these 2 worlds meeting, the real world and this new Web3 world.
Up until now, we've had a very limited idea of kind of what these Vox are, where they come from, who are they. But the movie is going to actually start uncovering a lot of this.
Not only is Gala Games and their fans going to be excited, but this is a movie and a project that's going to change the shape of what people have seen before with animated film. I'm super excited to announce the film screenwriter, Adam Pop.
It's just been so fun working with the Gala Games people and Blue Eyes Entertainment and just being part of this exciting opportunity.
Adam's the perfect writer for this film, hands down. Having his mind and the way that he's able to take humor and make everything so relatable.
Just like we did with the Lego movie where we took all these disparate aspects and brought them all together, that's sort of what's amazing about the Gala Games ecosystem. We have this opportunity to take all these different realms, these different games, these different types of characters, and find a way to connect them all. So it really is just this huge sandbox to be able to write a movie in. In this movie, we really focus on this gamer who's like a high school girl named Erin, and she loves gaming. And then we have her dad, who's this guy that does not understand it at all. End up being this story where they have to like work together as they actually end up in the world of these games. You really get to explore all the comedy of somebody who doesn't understand them at all and somebody who knows them super well as they go on this amazing adventure together.
Community is the single most important thing that makes Gala what it is. And whether it's games, whether it's music, or now film, if it doesn't benefit them, we don't do it.
Welcome to the data lane. Please keep your arms and legs inside of the wormhole when traveling between games in the Boxverse.
Today, I have the very distinct pleasure of chatting to a true gaming legend, Mr. Will Wright. You have clearly been doing this a long time and you've tapped into something. Can you talk us through your approach to game design?
Well, typically I always enjoyed playing games, and I got into computers really early on. And at some point in my career, it was just like I started making the games I wanted to play. When I got my first computer, I started realizing I could build models on the computer, dynamic models, and I think my career just kind of reflects that, I like building models I like to play with.
What are you hoping to accomplish with the Boxverse?
I'm interested in the scale of it, that we have one world, it's not all these different shards and stuff that everybody is in. And also, I really want to push the player creativity and the social side of things. I want the players to have the tools to drive the design of what this world becomes.
I think in that same vein, there's a really cool technology that you're a fan of that we want to leverage for the Boxverse, and it's called shape grammars. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, shape grammars are a very particular form of procedural generation, which means that we can teach the computer certain rules about how a house is constructed. It has a front door, it has a roof, it might have 1 or 2 or 3 floors. But then, rather than having the player build, every bit of that house piece by piece, they can actually get 10 house plans. Say, oh, I like that one. And it'll take that house plan and mutate it, show you 10 variations of that house plan. In that way, I think we're able to allow the players to actually design most of what the world actually is.
Absolutely, and I think this is such a clever way to do it, where it's not cumbersome design, but it really does enable players to unleash their creativity and just go through these mutations and figure out what they can do that's never been done before.
I really want most of the stuff in this world to feel unique, just like the box.
Tell us a little bit about land in Boxverse. How does that work out?
We're actually thinking a lot about the subsurface. That maybe when you buy a plot of land on the surface, you get subterranean rights that kind of shrink as you go down every level. So you can build a big basement, a big cellar, an underground club, whatever you want. But at some point it kind of diminishes to zero. And so the internal space of this Vox world, which right now we're conceptualizing as a cube, is going to be kind of no man's land. And that we can do, adventures, quests, crime families might go down there and you could build a whole, civilization down there and even discover an ancient civilization and find treasure from there.
So we're talking about almost 3D plots of land that diminish into a point as you get closer and closer to, I've heard the word seedy underbelly thrown around.
Yeah. We want to role play a lot. We don't want players griefing each other, obviously. And yeah, you're right. The land ownership, it's going to kind of come down like a pyramid almost underneath a plot of land. And we can go pretty deep with that. So you can still have a lot of underground stuff under your plot of land.
I think that's a nice segue into the social economy of Voxverse.
But at the end of the day, I really want the social economy to be more important. And by social economy, I mean that every time you meet a new Vox, they get added to your social network. In addition to that, we're going to have kind of global social stats. Another one would be trusted, feared, and famous. The social thing is going to actually leverage that and make it successful.
I love that your experience is meaningfully different if you're a Vox holder, and that kind of opens up a whole new facet to the game. Thank you so much for your time, Will.
All right, we're going to talk about film just briefly. So we're very excited about film, and in fact so much so that this year in the Galaverse we created little secret cinemas. We wanted to create an experience where everything was interconnected. So from games to music to film to art, everything works and exists together, which is kind of what Web3 is all about.
Thank you very much, Sarah. My name is Peter. I'm from Singapore. I'm the founder of I&I Co. I&I Co has been viewed more than 46.5 billion views in about 3 years. I&I Co exists because we wanted to remind children, young people, and even people who are not so young that everything is going to be okay. Our slogan is love can happen anywhere. I&I Co comes from the part of my life many years ago. To tell the story properly, it really began when I was about 6 years old. I went to a free trial art lesson near a place where I stay in Ang Mo Kio, Singapore. So it's a free trial art lesson. I was one of the first and earliest kids to sign up. Unfortunately, what happened at the free trial lesson is the teacher realized that I don't have the fees, the funds to pay for the next future lesson. So what happened is the teacher told me, maybe you get out of the class. The seat could be taken by somebody else who could afford. I went home and cried. Reaching home, my grandfather is asking me, why are you crying? What happened? Tell me. So I told him what happened. Why am I different from other people? Why is it that we couldn't afford something like a $20 fee to attend the art lesson? So my grandfather said, man, why do you want to be the same as other people? And he did tell me a story to encourage me. So he did told me this story about there was this young little boy who used to be just like me, right? His hair looks like you. His eyebrow is very thick like you. He likes to wear red color shirt just like you. And what important, he's just like you, right? The way he hold a pencil, 4 fingers wrapped around the pen like this. And he couldn't told, he was told he couldn't draw properly. And what happened is he believed in himself. He never gave up on his dreams. Before he died, he became very successful. He created Disneyland. His name was Picasso. The last lesson, probably he's teaching me indirectly, is that sometimes we don't realize the true value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Sometimes later becomes never. Sometimes if we hesitate a bit, we may never get a second chance to do something like this. I think storytelling is and will always be one of the most important and powerful way to change people's mind, or to inspire, or to remind people of very important emotions, messages, or timely messages, like love, right? Especially in a world where hurt shouts. I think there's a lot of things we can do, and the best way to do it is through storytelling. Everywhere you look, love is always around us. You just need to open your eyes and be aware. There's always hope. So don't feel lonely, don't be depressed. There's always hope and love around you. Storytelling is and will always be the most powerful way to inspire people. And I think Gala Films has the opportunity to really create the next generation storytelling. Because I believe the next generation storytelling will be figured out and will be built on metaverse. And with the commitment and the value shared between me and Gala Films into one area with so much resources, with so much dedicated people, and we are talking about really good people all coming together to create this ecosystem, I think I&I-Co, with the support of Gala Film, might be able to figure out the next generation storytelling. And if we can do that, no matter what kind of investment we are looking at, no matter what kind of resources we need to put in, what kind of hard work we need to put in, if we can do that successfully, I think a lot of things is going to change for a lot of people. Even if we were to fail, which I don't think we will, the losses is personal. But if we were to succeed and figure out the next generation storytelling with Gala Film, I think the world will be a slightly better place. And this is why I'm really excited, for any opportunity to see how I can do and explore to do something really special with Gala Film.
Oh, that's it. That's the end. We finished. I'm so sad, but there will be another Galaverse, there will be another live show, and more importantly, there is so much happening over the summer. Whilst Galaverse is a wonderful opportunity to celebrate with you guys and to give you something to get excited about, there are more games coming, there are more musicians coming, and now there are films coming too. So stick with us, enjoy your summers, and we will see you really soon. Let's hand back for one final time to the Galaverse. Some of us haven't been at Galaverse this year, and you might be looking at this from afar, wondering what on earth this is all about. For some people, it is a celebration of community, a big way for Gala to say thank you to all of those who have supported us on our journey so far.
I'm surprised, look at that, this is miracle.
First class all the way.
Yay! Amazing, this is like on a whole nother level, for sure.
Epic. But what some of you might not realize is that Galaverse is so much more than games and drops and community celebration. It's also more than the announcements of things like music and film. Underneath Galaverse is something hugely more important. Galaverse isn't just hyperbole. Galaverse is about Gala as a brand and our belief that all creators and people who want to create change in the world should be given the opportunity to do their thing. Galaverse is a celebration of talent. It supports people from a huge range of creative industries. It is actually an example of Gala giving back, not Gala taking away from our growing community. It's about investing in creatives in the real world, from makeup artists to costume designers, from set designers to sound engineers to lighting specialists, From the people on the ground that get to build these amazing sets, to the people sat at the screens bringing visuals to life. Galaverse is so much more than it first appears. It's a celebration of what happens when people can come together. And for anybody that doesn't understand why we're doing what we do, Galaverse is a brilliant way to start coming on that journey with us. Here's to the creatives. Here's to the ones that want to work together to build something better and to make magic truly happen in the digital world and the physical world too. Hello, you made it. You are the fine few that watched the show live and have got all the way to the end. And as tradition states, when people do that, when they get through to the hidden level, when they persevere, when they show loyalty and dedication, they should definitely benefit and get something. So if you guys scan the QR code here, it will take you through to a form. Put the email address in that form that you use with your Gala account. So if you don't have a Gala account, you have a little bit less than 30 minutes to get one ready. Put that email address into the form, and we are going to drop you something very special to celebrate with you Gala and our entrance into Web3 entertainment. Gala games, Gala music, Gala film. It's all getting very exciting. This is the Galaverse. I am Bucks, and I'm so looking forward to seeing all of you again soon.